Peace, world. How you doing? It's your brother Mikey Fever. Welcome to another episode of NYP Talk Show, the realest podcast within this conscious sphere. Don't forget to comment, like, share, and subscribe. We got super chats. We got the website. We got some things coming down the line for you guys. Hope all is well. Peace to y'all on this beautiful Thursday. Peace to the family. Peace to the gods. Peace to the earth. Peace. Assalamu alaikum to the nation of Islam. Peace to the Hebrew Israelites. Peace to the ATR movement. Shout out to everybody, man, out there.
Peace.
Peace. We got our brother who's not unfamiliar with this platform, who's been putting in the work with the Black Round Table. Shout outs to him and brother Vic. They have bring a lot of good information, and these brothers are real solid in what they do. They don't believe it, they walk it. You know what I'm saying? Our good brother Magnetik Allah.
Peace to the family. So
Peace,
glad to
brother.
be back on the NYP Talk Show, building in the building.
Yeah, man. Last show we had was great with you and brother Hassan, man. You know, and I
that was a
thank you
good
again for
build.
coming out. You had the root canal and you still rocked out with us, man. The salute to you, man.
yeah,
You know,
it's
brother,
a
like
work in progress, man. It's still under construction. I'm working with it, just the whole,
I know the healing
because
takes
health
time.
is important as you get into your power years, your 50, you got to make sure that's on point. So I'm doing my best, sir.
You don't look like you're in your power years, bro.
Oh, thank you, man. Man, I
You look,
appreciate that. That's what I
you
need
look-
to hear, sir.
yeah, what's the secret? The following what the how to eat to live.
Yeah, that's a piece of it, but I would say just trying to keep yourself in good spirits, it's positive spirits and not taking stuff too serious because be amazed at how much laughter and joy can change just a bad day. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that is so true, man. People don't understand that a little bit of that, man. Just a smile, a good gesture will help the day go by, man. You can
Exactly.
have a negative thought in mind, and out of nowhere, that laughter just breaks that dark cloud.
Changes the whole frequency. Indeed. Indeed.
True indeed. So tonight's show, family, we got a good show tonight. The brothers are gonna present to us. It's Panther of a Thousand Faces, new Black Panther Party. Can you break that down for us? What is the new Black Panther Party, brother? I know we got an introduction that you provided us that I'm going to add right now.
All right. I love that you asked that question because, what we're not talking about is the old Black Panther Party. We're talking about the most preserved, I say, quintessential elements of what make up what we call the Panther cake. The ingredients that we saw that we could take from the old Black Panther Party and then make something new and then make something that could go into the future. Not necessarily we're not gonna say better. We're not gonna, put nobody down, but make something that's suitable for us to be able to take into the future and that would be useful. Okay. Um, I know a lot of people observe at a certain point within the old Black Panther Party, a lot of things that made it the Black Panther Party were taken from out of it. Instead of being Black power, it was power to the people,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Okay, right. It was power to the people. And as it became power to the people, a lot of the stuff that had to do with Black people specifically got kind of washed out, right?
Mm-hmm.
We began to see different colors of people show up at these rallies and whatnot and show up in the Black Panther offices. And all of a sudden, something that was for Black power became everybody else's power and power to the people. And we saw a rainbow pop up.
The
So this
coalition,
was
yeah.
power that we had created and cultivated, but somebody else came and kind of took it away and pushed it into a different direction. So at a certain point, Black people said, "Hey, well, we need that back because the same stuff that was going on when we created the Black Panther Party is going on now. So we need that same setup." And the question was, well, what do we want to? What parts of it do we want to bring back? What parts of it do we not want to bring back? And the parts of it that people wanted brought back and emphasized was pan-africanism, revolutionary Black nationalism, Black liberation theology, the 10-point program. Um, uh, I'm not going to even say nothing like the Red Book because that was some of the stuff that twisted it and took it into a different direction. But a party that was
The
centered
Red Book,
around the needs
Chairman
and the
Mao.
wants. You said what now?
You're talking about Chairman's Mao book, the Red Book.
Yeah, but that wasn't a part of the formula for the new Black Panther Party. The formula for this was revolutionary Black nationalism, pan-Africanism, and liberation theology, and then programs to, demonstrate and show and prove this to the neighborhoods which the chapters was in,
Mm,
And I use this phrase here, the panther of a thousand faces, because what it says is that it says this panther is in all of us,
yeah.
whether we be in Haiti, whether we be in Africa, whether we be in Jamaica, whether we be in Europe, no matter where we
Mm,
be, this panther is in all of us. And when we say this panther or bastet, we're talking about the Black fighting spirit. And the
mm.
reason why I can say this and qualify that the panther is in all of us is because all of us have had to fight against white supremacy in order to exist, period.
Talk about it. Talk
Could
about it.
not be Black and not fight against white supremacy and exist. If so, you got crumbled and humbled and then, sent on your way. That's how that went. If you was going to exist, I'm gonna say even after the 7th century, you had to fight and struggle against white supremacy if you had Black skin,
That's
you
a
know.
fact. True indeed. True.
Indeed.
I love how you said that. You linked that to Bassett. That fighting warrior spirit is in all of us.
Yes, sir.
It's in all of us, and we have to wake up. And how you said that we've been fighting white supremacy since the 1700s, even before then. And I think that's just something. That's just a cancer that's within society that's always, is gonna spread if
Yeah.
we value others. And I'm glad that you said that. So with this presentation right here, brother,
Mm,
I was looking at it earlier, but I was like, you know what? I want to wait to experience it with the viewers and listeners, man.
right.
If we could get into that, can you walk us into that?
Um, could you read it, family? I tried to put on my glasses to be able to see it, but I can't see it, brother. It's
Oh,
very, very
I got you.
okay, okay.
It said
Appreciate
the panther of a thousand faces, the black fighting spirit, is an anthology which takes a historical look into many appearances of the panther throughout history, from Basset, daughter of Ra, to the pardon me, trying to see myself also, Visteri of Europe, and even on the big screen in a motion picture. The panther is a multidimensional concept which has made its way into the fields of endeavor, classes, religion, genders, ethnicity, as well as locations and time periods. Whenever, whenever you see, wherever you see a police, terrorism, hunger, human rights abuse, poor schools, displacement, marginalization, oppression, racism, and colonialism, you will see a Panther Party or something like it emerge. That's deep right there, bro. Resistance everywhere. Wherever you see it, there's gonna be resistance. You feel me?
That's right. Yes, sir.
Pardon me. I'm trying to really focus in and see because my glasses as well. I'm like, I'm trying to, the text is a little small.
Okay.
Why we new Black Panther Party must tell the story. Many have attempted to tell this story and were unsuccessful. You cannot tell a story about an international phenomenon using a localized perspective or a micro nationalist viewpoint. We appreciate all efforts before us to take us into the subject. They have all brought us closer to seeing this phenomenon clearer. It says the first of all, we cannot isolate the Black Panther into one time period. That is the shallow approach to a very rich, deep legacy. The Panther is the embodiment of the fighting spirit, the spirit which endows the oppressed with the spirit to push back.
That
That right
fighting
there. That's
spirit.
that
Mhm.
resistance, man, not giving in. It is the mind which creates a counter narrative and then makes the narrative the narrative. When the mind, the pen, and the sword joins forces with the will of the people, a kind of magic happens. This kind of magic we call the Black Panther. Let me go forward. Make sure I
Yes,
don't
sir.
miss no part and cut off. Um, no one, no one of damn, I can't see that part right there.
No
Pardon.
one of us is greater than all of us.
Yeah, definitely. I couldn't say that. All it cut off in the bottom. All of us together. No single story is greater than the whole story. In fact, if you're not gonna tell the whole story, then why tell it at
I
all?
tell it all. That's
Damn,
right.
bro. That right there. Ooh,
Mhm.
that's powerful right there, bro. Hold on. I gotta give that some sound, man.
Mhm.
I gotta give that some sound. Oh my God. That right there, bro. Yo, that is self that right there is the declaration right there, bro. That set it off.
Come on.
That right there
Yes,
set
sir.
it off.
I
Put
mean,
you put you
and
back.
that's the perspective that we're approaching this Panther. And because we know that once again it's an international concept.
Mm-hmm.
Period. I was just watching a joint the other day, a movie that was on Tubi.
Yeah.
Man, this was about the Black Panther Party of New Zealand.
Mm-hmm.
I had no idea. I ain't gonna even lie to you. I had no idea there was a Black Panther Party of New Zealand, and they were talking about all of their struggles and what they went through and stuff. And I was just like, okay, so there we go again. Anywhere where these type of conditions exist,
Yeah.
this type of thing will pop up. You see, even outside of America, way over on the other side of the world, where they're dealing with some type of oppression, racism, colonialism, maybe all three. You know what I mean? They said they looked and they saw what we was doing. They had posters up of Huey P. Newton and Angela Davis and all kind of shit, and Bobby Seale up in the New Zealand office. I was like, wow, I
That's
see.
that's powerful right there. So
Mhm.
when did the new Black Panther Party when was it created, brother?
Um, we go back to I'm gonna say 1964. There's a piece that a brother named Bob Brown did, who was a
Mm-hmm.
comrade of Kwame Ture and one of the early members of SNCC. But we
Mm-hmm.
say 1964. I believe it was in a YMCA in New York with Queen Mother Moore, Max Stanford, who was the head of Rampart. I mean, not Ramparts, but RAM. And then, and then Kwame Ture. And they got together and they wanted to find a way to create, uh, how could I say this? Like an umbrella group for people that were kind of trapped in the Democratic Party or trapped in the Republican plantation, and they wanted to have a place where they could come together and do black politics, without the snarings of the Democratic and the Republican Party. So they created the Black Panther Party, and this was
Mm-hmm.
like in New York, where they had brought it together. And then now that's one, uh, as Bob Brown calls it, leader of kittens
Mm-hmm.
that happened in New York. Then somehow this idea, when the kids decided to go down to Alabama, right? The SNCC kids decided to go down to Alabama. The Ram kids decided to go down to Alabama to Lowe's County. That
Yeah.
idea, they looked around down there and they saw all the Panther stuff down there. All the high schools and stuff and the colleges and stuff using that Panther. So they said, well, wow, you know. And when they got down there, the Lowe's County Freedom Organization, came into be. And this was a black town that was 85% black, but the black people didn't hold no offices. So they said, well,
Oh,
then we should be able
wow.
to take office if we can get the vote. But they couldn't get the vote because every time they came to get the vote, then the Klan came out with the gun. And
That's
so,
crazy.
when you look, there's a sign. You guys can all Google. The audience, I would challenge you guys to Google this: Alabama Democratic Party, and on the
Mm-hmm.
top it says, Alabama Democratic Party, and on the bottom it says white supremacy, and then it has a chicken in the middle. And I just want to remind everybody that chicken represents us.
Wow.
Yeah, you know,
Wow.
you know how we like fried chicken in the South.
Yeah.
We was that chicken that was getting fried. So this is why
Damn.
we went from that symbol, the chicken, to what?
The
To the
Panther.
panther.
To the Panther. I
Yeah.
got you. I like that. Yeah, man. Because there's no cowards over here. All right. Being that we in 2026, right? This is a
Yes,
question I
sir.
have. For those who don't understand what the new Black Panther Party is, and those who do know, I hope you further do your investigation. What is the central mission in this day and age? And how would we explain to ordinary black people or black families that haven't studied any revolutionary politics? How would how would
Um,
how would we break it down for them? Like
so first of all, let
the
me say I want to
intro,
give a shout out. Go ahead.
not to cut your wisdom. The
Go
intro
ahead.
itself was dope.
Mhm.
That mission statement right there is dope. But how can we really embed it in them to get on board with this?
Thank you for the question, bro. I want to give recognition and a shout out to Brother Daryl Hawkins, also known as Nasir Natula, who's the chairman now. Brother's doing
Okay,
a very good job. Has restructured it, been able to do what we call the house cleaning, getting all the rats out of the house to where the house could be clean and ready for new people to come in and new ideas to come in. Okay. So with that, I would send everybody to uh, the new Black Panther Party .black. It's the new Black Panther Party
that black.
.black. Yeah, and that's the website, and that's you can kind of look at and see. And on the website, we have a newspaper that's coming out. You know, it's the new Black Panther Party newspaper, and you can just kind of read through it and kind of see what we're about and what we represent. But to put it in a nutshell and sum it up for our listening audience, I would talk about what we call the five duties and the sole purpose of a panther.
Good.
Okay,
Break
so
it down.
we say the sole purpose of a panther is to be a revolutionary in the African people's liberation struggle and to mobilize the masses towards self-determination. A panther must be a vanguard example for African people at all times, Black people. In order
Hmm.
to accomplish this great and divine mission, he or she must be one, spiritually, culturally, and politically conscious. Two, respectful and courteous to all people and demand the same in return. Three, militant, always engaged in the war for the hearts and minds of Black people while carrying oneself in an organized and orderly fashion. Four, humble, willing to release any arrogant attitudes and superior ideas of oneself. Discipline, willing to sacrifice your lower or personal desires for the greater good of the mission.
Mm,
That's what we call the five duties.
I like that.
And yeah, it's something that things that people can carry with them throughout their day, throughout their week,
I
amongst their
like that.
family, amongst their community. And many times, if you demonstrate these qualities, you won't really have to preach. People will just start asking you things and listening to you and paying close attention to you and doing what you do because these are very magnetic qualities. You don't see a lot of people that have these qualities nowadays that are consistent with it. You know what I
I,
mean?
I like that. I like that. I like that. And it's the number five, man. Power and refinement.
You see
That's
what I'm saying? And
yeah,
that's why
man.
I added it on Black Power and Refinement. See,
Mm,
because you got the five duties. And if you add them duties onto yourself, that's a refinement within itself.
yeah. That five has a lot of power to it. That love, truth, freedom, justice, equality.
Yes, sir.
Man, everything that makes, and that's what we strive for. What
Indeed.
does what does Black Power mean today beyond the rhetoric, symbolism, uniforms, and demonstrations?
Mm.
You know, because
Well, we know black is that's the original people, period, of
hmm
the planet, the people who built the planet.
hmm
Before the planet had an infrastructure, these people came and built the infrastructure of the planet, all over the planet. And that's no exception on any part of the 196,940,000 square miles of the planet. Okay,
mm,
so when we're talking about black power today, we've seen it manifest in the form of slogans, in the form of like fashion statements, black power. People use it for that. Once again, political parties, social movements. When we're
yeah,
talking about black power today, right? In this dimension, me as the National Minister of Culture and the NBPP, we're talking about substance that you can go within and plug into, even as
hmm
an individual. Okay, substance that you can go into. There's times when black people need that courage to be able to stand up to somebody, to an unjust law, or an unjust ruler, or a teacher at your kid's school, or a policeman that's acting outside of his duty. You know what I mean? There's times
definitely.
when you need that inner source of power. to give you the courage to stand up to them and let you know that you're intelligent enough to be able to confront this person and their bullshit and back them up. That's the first black power we talking about. Okay, because if a person does not have that, it's not too good of a chance they're going to be able to come into an organization and find something I don't know outside of themselves to attach to make them powerful. Now they got to have an internal source of what black power. That can only come through, I would say, an inward journey, looking into yourself, not the inward journey. See? Or you look inward and you see an inward. No, no, the
I like
inward
that.
journey.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
within,
saying?
deep within.
You see, to find that the best part of yourself. And once you start digging into that self and you become dissatisfied with the other part of yourself, so dissatisfied that you use that dissatisfaction to multiply the better part of yourself, then you bring that to the organization, right? With other people who are doing the same thing. And this is why we say the new Black Panther Party, because there's a renewal, even for an older person that come in. They don't have to be real young. They could be, but when they come into this, they're going to feel young again because there's going to be a renewal, or what Dr. Khaled called a blacktism, right? Yeah, where all of the thorough shit about black you're reminded about. You know?
Got you.
Yeah.
What makes the new Black Panther Party different from any other liberation group for Black people? You know, what makes it like so much different? Because, you know, in the 60s, we know when the Panthers came, they had other groups that represented civil rights and political other agendas for people.
Yes,
And
sir.
they were viewed as like they were respected, but they weren't as feared as the Panthers, like the ferocity the Panthers had. Because not only were they just brandishing guns, people assumed they just brandished guns, but they were lethal in the sense of intellectualism as well, knowing the law. So
I
what
like
makes
how you highlighted that very, very much, because when we
yeah.
have class, that's exactly what we're talking about.
Mhm.
Let's keep it a buck, family. It's
Mhm.
just me and you on here talking, but I know a lot of people listening. But most people know that they can't really see black people from here, from as far as fighting.
Oh,
They know
never.
on a one-on-one, we will tear your ass out the frame. Sometimes we can fight multiple people with just one of us. They
Yeah.
know that. They know who all the heavyweight champions are. Floyd Mayweather, people like Abdullah Mason. We got
Mhm.
major hand game, man. Scraps all day till the wheels fall off. Okay.
Mhm.
But what many of us do not have is the same ideological scrap where we can
Mm.
defend the integrity of our ideas and defend our culture from being misused and abused, right? Or defend
Yeah.
our politics against another set of politics and be successful and have confidence in our ability to be able to defend our politics and our culture, right? From
Mhm.
invasion. That's what we're talking about today in the new Black Panther Party. And
Got you.
then, as a result of being able to defend, right, the integrity of our culture, the integrity of our ideology, the integrity of our politics, we're able to maintain and preserve our community, because the
Mm.
community needs all of these things, but
It
they
does.
must have integrity to them to where anything cannot come in and out of it and control it and manipulate it using what I call string cheese. You know, string cheese is white, and it's money that got strings attached to it.
I like that. I like
You
that. I
see,
like that.
we don't
I
need
like
more string cheese. You see, yeah.
because I see it like, you know, through research and my own analysis, I see that, you know, our people sometimes has like a messiah complex, or we used to having that voice that represents us,
Mm,
right?
hmm.
And sometimes that voice that represents us is sometimes tailored by the
Somebody other than us.
yeah powers that be that want you that person to pacify you. Again, I'm not slandering the elders that passed. Like though MLK, he was feared because what he did with the boycott. Later on, they realized he had that power to really dismantle the system financially. But
Hey,
and civil rights and stuff. But they didn't embrace a Martin Luther King like that. I mean, no, not Martin Luther King. Pardon me, Malcolm X or Elijah Muhammad wasn't embraced as
right,
such, or
right.
for instance, Huey P. Newton. Why is that?
Yeah, man. I mean, certain things, narratives go counter to their narratives because they'll listen to you talk. But what they're trying to figure out while you're talking is what is this person's underlying message or point that they want to drive people to? Where are they taking us to? Where is this car headed? Okay, so when they look at Martin Luther King, they was like, "Oh, his car is headed to a very happy place with a whole bunch of happy niggas and a whole bunch of white people having ice cream cones and drinking from the same water fountain." They look at Malcolm, it's like, "Oh, his car is headed to a real black place with big afros and shit and Africa symbols and stuff and jazz music playing." And it was just a
Yep.
choice. Let's keep it real. Some of us wanted to go to where Martin's car was headed,
Yeah.
right? But
Integration.
then
Yeah.
as we got closer to that, we took that route, as Martin said, have I walked my people into a burning house?
Mm.
Right?
Yep.
And they said, well, hold it, man. Maybe I need to get back on the main street, the Freedom Road, because this off road he done took us on is not what they said it was going to be.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying? So I think that's kind of what pushed people this way or that way. You know what I mean? Because somebody could sell you something or tell you almost anything, family. But when you start to, and you have to make it walk and talk,
Hmm.
that's a whole nother ball game. And they had to make this so-called talk about equality that Kennedy was talking about, that Eisenhower, all the presidents was talking about. It's even in the Constitution, the great founding documents of this nation. Okay,
Yeah.
make it walk and talk, because y'all sure wrote the shit. And anything you say,
Exactly.
what can and will
Yeah.
be used against
In the court of law, baby.
you. Okay. See?
Eh, and that's where Malcolm was taking them.
Okay.
He's looking to
You
take from
see
the
what
court of
I'm
law.
saying?
You get what I'm saying? So, because
Yeah.
man, it's just so much. Now, I was not up to unpack. So, with this new Black Panther Party, what is the curriculum? You did mention, like, they don't do the red book, but say for instance,
Mhm.
I want to sign up. What's the process
Mhm.
I'll go through? Like, will I be properly
You
vetted?
would sign up. Of course, there'd be a background check and stuff. There's like a class that's either every day or at least 3 days a week, done by a brother named Pharaoh Zip Ties, and he walks you through the 5 duties until you can memorize them and put them on cap, and also the 9 local objectives, which are the
Hmm.
things that the different Panther chapters or members do within their regions or areas to. This is basically the program, the daily, weekly program. Yeah. Um, And then you would come to Tuesday class, and Tuesday class is like political science. I teach that class, and we talk about, like, for instance, it's a 6-week program. So we talk about the Bill of Rights, talk about the UN Declaration for Human Rights,
Hmm.
stuff like the G Code that we talked about on here, the 11 principles
Oh
of
yeah, I love the
white
G code.
supremacy.
I
Yes,
love the G
sir.
code.
Take them through that.
Hmm.
And just things that are important to know as a Panther, because I was born into the party. So
Oh.
for a long time, I was hanging around the old party, the old people and stuff. And at a certain point, I was like, well, we need to do more stuff, y'all. And they was like, well, we agree with you, but you're a lot younger than us and we're a lot older than you. So why don't
Mm.
you go find some younger Panthers and teach them what we've shared with you? I said, that's a good idea. So that's when I took it from the commemoration party to the NBPP and made sure that all the Panther stuff, I knew the Pantherisms as like a professor of Pantherism, me, I made sure I shared all of that with the new Black Panthers. And I'm really striving to just build a relationship between brother Aaron Dixon, because he's a real cool, real solid brother from Seattle, and the MBPP. And, we've had some good talks. Yep.
I want. Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that too. With the old party, new party, is there like any compare and contrast? Because I know, like, with the older party back
Mhm.
then, they were under so much like stress from COINTELPRO, FBI, internal conflict,
Right.
and many other tactics that were used to create disparity and conflict amongst them. How do you
Mhm.
guys view these tactics, and are you guys well equipped to know how to vet that out?
It is what it is, friend. You're always going to have that on the table that's working against you, that hidden hand. You're always going to have that. But realistically, we just say that to me, myself, if I'm gonna look at this, Kate, if I'm gonna go back in time in our struggle, the
Mm-hmm.
the heartbeat of it is the fighting black spirit. Okay.
Yeah.
When you look back to our history and you see people like Harriet Tubman, you see within her a Bastet and a fighting black spirit, you know, in the field which she was working in, liberating souls. She said forward or under. We're
Of
not
course.
separate, you can't go back, forward or under.
Or
When
under,
you look
that's
at
it.
somebody like Adam Clayton Powell, who was a minister and a politician, but irregardless, I know a lot of ministers, I know a lot of politicians, they ain't nothing like him. Because
Mm-mm.
you saw within him and the way he represented Harlem, a fighting black spirit. When you look at
Exactly.
somebody like Sugar Ray Robinson, who was born in Detroit, or not born in Detroit, but came to Detroit and started fighting in Detroit. And this was at a time when they didn't want to show the black fighters. They didn't want to give them a real shot.
Mm-hmm.
He went all throughout America and all around Europe, whooping white men's ass. I mean, whooping them really bad with both hands in a way that nobody had never seen nobody do it. And the way he represented black, the majesty that he represented, the way he did it, and the mackishness that he did it with. Once again, you saw the fighting black spirit. So even though they worked against us, they oppressed us, they lied on us and spied upon us, right? We had
Of
another
course.
champ who was from Detroit too, Joe Louis,
Yeah.
right?
Oh
He was
man,
quiet,
they
but
did
he
him dirty.
faded you,
Yep.
right? And first the white man beat him, but then he came back and smashed the white man. Max Smelling, I believe was his name. So
Yes.
faded him. Yeah.
You
And
know, I,
this was like black America whooping white racist Hitler,
all
Nazi
the time.
Germany.
All the
Yeah.
time. I love that history. When I growing up watching those old documentaries and reading those reading books and documentaries and hearing oral lessons from elders telling me about that, I'd be like, wow, how they destroy these men publicly or through financially,
Yeah.
taxes, whatever they get them with, like the Paul
I mean,
Robeson.
even when we use the term GI Joe, who's
Yeah.
the Joe they're talking about?
Joe Lewis.
Joe Louis.
Hmm.
Yeah. It's like, so even if we go to Patton's Panthers, right, in World War II,
Hmm.
these were the black men of Patton soldiers, because he was a major general, who went into Germany and freed a lot of the internment camps because the white boys didn't want to do it. Only the Black Patton's Panthers went in and did that. This is
Yeah.
another part of the legacy of the Panther that we're talking about, So we're talking about a very vast legacy, a fighting black spirit that goes far back and far forward and is here with us now.
Got you, my brother. I love that.
Mhm.
What role do the sisters play in the movement, like, and roles in leadership?
What role do sisters play?
Yeah,
Sisters, any position that they would, like to play and whatnot.
I like that.
Um, there's been plenty of sisters. In fact, the old Black Panther Party, Elaine Brown, I would say, ran about the tightest version of the Black Panther Party.
Hmm.
Right now we have a lot of sisters that are on the leadership council and who are leaders of chapters, etc. It's a very important thing to have that male and female balance, that yin and yang balance, in order for things to be home, because the black home has the nuclear family in it.
Got you.
Regardless of what anybody want to say, if you're a man, you're a woman, you're a child, there's only one way you could have got to the planet. A
Through
man and a woman laid down together, got together, and produced enough love to produce you. And that is what we honor, that union.
I got you. So a sister Desiree put up 85%. I don't know what she.
85%.
Yeah,
Why she put it there?
I don't know, but she
Mm,
you got to further explain that. Um,
mm,
how does the movement confronts police misconduct? Right. This is two questions in one: police misconduct,
mm.
and how does the movement approaches the conflict within the community as far as the black on black violence and ills that lays within our communities? How do we deal with that? The new Black Panther Party.
Mm. Let's see. Police misconduct.
Yeah.
I myself, I like to use the term police terrorism because when I see
Exactly.
some of the stuff that they're doing and the fact that a lot of these people they're doing this against are unarmed,
Mm-hmm.
civilians, and these
Oh
people
yeah.
are armed and they're trained and they're getting paid, so they're getting financed to do this. What they're
Our
doing.
tax dollars. Don't let's not
There you
forget that
go.
part.
It's our tax dollars, it's our money, so we're paying for our own ass whoopings a lot of times. Yeah,
Exactly.
and it's an expensive ass whooping, right?
Public servant.
There you
Right.
go.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think we could find better ways where this money could be used rather than paying for, honorable ass whoopings. Honestly, I
Mm.
mean, because that's essentially what it is. Because I know you work hard, I work hard. Your
Yeah.
parents have worked hard. Everybody in the sound of my listening voice works hard. We don't want to keep putting our money into something that's abusive and it's shown and proven not to work. So, I think once again getting a grasp of the civics because these people we vote in, you vote for the mayor, and the mayor selects the police chief.
Mm.
So we can't really necessarily vote the police chief in and out, but what we can do is put the pressure upon the mayor, whom we voted in. Like, wait a minute, you like that job? Okay, the money's good. Okay. Well, you're about to lose it because you're not doing what we need you to do, player.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, you're playing for the other team. And if you're gonna play for the other team, let the other team vote for you and finance what you're doing. But right now, you're supposed to be playing for us, and you ain't hitting no home runs.
Mm.
Yeah,
I'm glad.
so
I'm glad. I'm glad you said that. Civics is so important.
yes,
Yes.
sir. I mean, because there's stuff, yeah, we can go and demonstrate about and holler and scream and advocate about, but when you start telling these people who have these positions that you voted in there, okay, we're
Mm-hmm.
about to vote you out. And then the other incumbent who's about to come in after them sees what you did. They're like, well, wait a minute, I don't want that to happen to me. Okay, now
Mm.
let me give you an example. So down in I guess it's Texas, right? And this is where Carmelo Anthony got that messed up sentence. Yes,
Yeah.
right? Okay,
Mhm.
so that judge is going out. He's about to retire. And that's probably why they gave him the case. Okay, because they
Oh.
knew he didn't have to extend his career, so he could do some fuck shit and get away with it and just walk off into the sunset, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but on the other side of things, we see a whole new legal team on board for Carmelo Anthony, right?
Yeah.
So the way they're about to implicate everybody who was involved in that kangaroo court mistrial is going to be an example to whoever comes in after them. If you do this, this is what can happen to you. So that's another part of how we show and prove. We as organization, we partner with other organizations who work in that field of activism in different locales to affect change. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes, like I said, if you got enough of the percentage of black people in your county, you can vote these people out. A bad
Exactly.
prosecutor, say in the case of in South Carolina with Mr. Chow, who killed the kid, right? Who ran the kid down in the store, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, obviously the prosecutor, at least this guy was shooting at people in the parking lot. Locked the door one day and was beating up little black girls in a store. Okay, but obviously this went to the police. The police took it to the prosecutor and they decided what? Not to
Right. Dope.
prosecute,
Yeah.
right? Okay, so voters, we need to vote dude out because he's not using his prosecutory powers correctly. You supposed to been
Exactly.
had him out of there. Now he chasing somebody down and kill somebody, but y'all been watching the escalation of this for a minute. Went into the parking lot and was shooting at people
Exactly. So basically, not upholding the law and knowing civics, because
selectively. Right.
our people sometimes we get caught up in politics emotionally, not doing the rational side of things, being logical about it. We just be
Indeed.
like, this person's
I
black,
want
I'm
to do
just gonna vote for
something.
them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Instead of just really studying the law. Not saying everyone would have time, but as you
Mhm.
said earlier, the group has civic courses where they will teach you the essentials to know what to
Yes,
look
sir.
for.
Yes, sir.
And that's dope. Peace to y'all for real for doing that because we do need it out here. A lot of us are not civically educated.
You ain't lying. And then you wonder why things are the way they are. Civics. impacts us even more than national politics, because civics is your local ecosystem,
Exactly.
of people and resources. So you have to know that, or the very thing you need could be right up the street from you, but you don't know where to call.
Mm-hmm.
Ghostbuster.
So, and how does a movement deal with issues within the community, like the crime amongst the brothers and sisters in the community, the gang violence, the drug infestation? Is it the old tactic of going into the drug houses and dumping them in the street? Pardon me.
um, that's kind of a difficult one. That's kind of a difficult one, and it's kind of an ongoing thing.
Yeah.
But some of the programs that we try to find other groups that can help people find services, right?
Yeah.
Because we don't necessarily have a whole bunch of money to provide services for people to get them up out of those positions and conditions. So we try to
Yeah.
partner with other groups who have services as far as housing, as far as mental health, as far as drug
Mm-hmm.
abuse, and then funnel people to those services and encourage them to stick it through. Do your due diligence, with whatever the service is, be it, drug abuse program, a housing program, whatever it be, mental health program, and just encourage people to, stick with it. Because we're not United Way, man. Got it.
Mm-hmm.
We're going off the people's money and the people's donations, but that's good because the people get to determine what it is and what it is not, you know.
Beautiful,
But
beautiful.
that's pretty much. But once people join the organization, you see many streams that take you to many places that have resources and whatnot. But we don't like to announce that from the rooftops. We like to, allow people to join the organization. Once again, you go to the new Black Panther Party .black, and you can look at the website. And the newspaper will be going up probably in a couple days, which will be on the website. And you can go play by play, blow by blow.
Definitely,
Day by day.
I want to take a
Mhm.
look at that, man, because I always admire what the Panthers have done. It's with the breakfast, they had the breakfast programs back in the
Yes,
day.
sir. Yeah.
That was very, very powerful. The sickle cell, and they
Hmm.
were helping clean up the community. And what's so real about it is that as American citizens, as the country says, like you said, the document would say that, we all equal, this and that. You see a group of people doing something positive in the community, yet you would not fund them. They were being funded by celebrities and other people,
Hmm.
secretly funding them. Why is it? I already know the answer for this, but just for the sake of conversation,
Right, right.
the government, and people may not agree with me, would not fund their demise. And when I say fund their demise, it's like you're removing all the sick patients out of the healthcare system. So if I'm helping everyone in the community, they're doing well, they're being educated civically. The Panthers are there instructing them. They may have vocational training and what training of weapons and how to protect their own community and how to be smart politically and legal wise. Then it's a problem for the system.
Mm.
They would not. They don't want that. They want to keep that
Right.
destitution perpetuating. Because the ghetto. Because imagine if everybody in the hood now are on the G code. They are on Panther timing.
Mm.
Where's the crime?
You might be onto something there, my brother. Because you might be onto something there, sir. See?
Yeah. Where's the
Okay.
crime? Because now it's gonna be a problem. They're like, oh wow, these people they woke up. They're no longer 85ers now.
We can't
The
just tell
percent
them anything and treat them any kind of way, right?
they're not going for it no more. So I I want to see the new Black Panther Party get involved with groups like Nation of Gods and Earth and the Moors. Yes, we may have different theologies whatsoever, understanding, but it's a
Mhm.
common goal is to uplift the people.
Indeed.
Have you guys tried reaching out to the I mean you're a guy, but reach out to other groups to see if they want to get on board with you guys or
Well,
they
I
just
mean, this is what I like about the new Black Panther Party. Okay, one thing we know about the Nation of Gods and Earth is that it's not a political entity. Neither is the Nation of Islam.
yeah.
Okay, neither is like a lot of the Kemetic joints or a lot of the so-called conscious groups. They're not
Hmm.
really political. Okay, it says right here, as to be spiritually, culturally, and politically conscious. That's one of the five duties of the Panthers. So I say that to say that people who are in the Nation of Gods and Earth, people who are in the Nation of Islam, people who are Moorish and whatnot, who are in other social, religious, cultural organizations can join the party
Mm-hmm.
and act out a group of politics that are black politics. You know what I mean? And that's the beauty of the party. You can even be a Mason. You could be from Africa. You could be from the Caribbean. You could be from anywhere on the continent as long as you black. And you can find a set of black politics that, reinforces black culture and is reinforced by black culture and is owned by black people. And you don't get lost on a Democratic or Republican plantation. That's what I like about the party so much. Because everybody always says we need a political party. I say we already got one.
You do.
But people try to turn it into a gun club and a social club.
Yeah, that's what happened. They get caught up in the aesthetics of it, and I just think I just want a gun. But no, these brothers back then were really reading. Like, you had like the who was it? Huey P was very intelligent.
Yes,
Bobby
sir.
Seale intelligent. Even down to like Tupac's mother, Sada. I mean, Afeni defending herself in court without a lawyer.
And
they
one,
yeah,
she was thorough, right? Yeah,
yeah,
I mean, they were, I remember when I was a kid and as growing up, these guys were just very extraordinary people. Period. My dad was a very extraordinary person. Aaron, Elmer, later on when I met Kwame, these people were just extraordinary. The stuff that they were saying, the way they were saying it, the way they did it was very profound. Period. And they weren't one-dimensional. They were multi-dimensional, and they could pretty much have a conversation with anybody and have the conversation come out pretty good. That's what impressed me about the Panthers. And it wasn't like this is just a Christian group or a Muslim group or this is just a Hebrew group. It was like this is an everybody group. People from all different parts of the black, walk of life walked into the Panther Party, man, and brought all of that with them and enriched the party because they brought all of their, enrichments from the different aspects of black culture. See?
That's oh man, it's so beautiful to hear this.
I know.
Are you guys still championing the 10-step program? It's still part of it, or you just
Yeah,
more to it?
yeah, indeed. That's still in there, but we just took it and made that into the 9 local objectives and then kind of walked it to where it's not just like you're saying this is what we want. Now we're saying, no, these are the things we have programs centered around. And as the cat has 9 lives, we have, the Panther has 9 local objectives. So these are 9 layers of existence and activity that we feed into, even if we don't do it directly. We're helping groups that are doing this type of activity and directing people who, are interested in that towards them.
Have any local politicians or assemblymen reached out, try to sit down with the Panthers, the new Black Panther Party? Took time to want to get to know them, or they just avoid them all in total?
In different places. I know we have a sister who works with some of them down south, so whatchamacallit, Chokwe Lumumba, who later became the mayor of Mississippi, he was one of the advisors, the elders who helped to born this into existence, a reality we call the New Black Panther Party. So, his son is mayor down in Jackson, Mississippi. So anyway, we can champion that brother and, work with that brother. He's going through some things down there in Mississippi. His son, because these are like the first pan-Africanist mayors in history that I know of, right?
Yeah.
He and his son. So they taking him through some things, So sometimes, but I mean, up here in Seattle, we have a guy named Larry Gossett, and he actually went down to with Aaron. Let's see who else was with him. Somebody else, and Larry Gossett drove down to Oakland to get the charter at Lil Bobby Hutton's funeral. So he later on, they told him, hey, we don't need you to jump all the way in the Panther, joint. We just need you to be a politician. So he became a politician. This was one of the longest standing King County council members in Seattle of all times, just recently retired. So, there's a lot of people who are, even Marion Barry. He was, kind of with Snick and stuff, but he was very Pantherisk, very, very Pantherisk. Just to name a few, a whole bunch of people came from out of that, I would say that particular contingent of time and then became politicians. If we're to keep going, Bobby Rush from Chicago. Yeah, he became he's a senator or something right now. So there's a lot of people that spawned, that Black Power movement spawned, that went into the political arena, and did
That's
well.
important. That's
Yeah.
important. That's important. Have
Mhm.
any I'm just gonna ask a question at the top. Have you guys ever any celebrities reach out to you guys?
See, No Limit Records back in the day gave
Yeah, I
the
remember.
party a nice little
Yeah.
chunk of dough. Lil Bootsy, we used to do security for him back in the day. I think the party did security for Erica Badu back in the day. Some, down in Texas and whatnot, because it was real deep in Texas. And just, a lot of rappers and stuff have reached out to the party because number one thing people know, I would say the party folk, whether it be the old Black Panther Party or new Black Panther Party, is knowing the law, number one,
Mm-hmm.
and like a security event management force. People know
Yeah.
that we're good for that. If you're to put us in the category of what we do, go to court with you, help you to get a better deal, whatever the deal is going to be. And then if you're having a party or event, we can help you to facilitate it and do event management.
Now you guys
Mm-hmm.
know, no joke. I that's what Brother Ron and I met at a Panther rally for Asada
Mm-hmm.
Shakur Hands Off Asada. This is 2012, 2011, 2012 in Harlem.
Mm-hmm.
And there was an elder sister there that I remember seeing growing up as a child. Her husband passed in the hospital. She said there's a lot of complications, and she believes that they were involved in his demise.
Wow.
And the way these brothers, I'm talking to her, the way these brothers surrounded her, she's like, I know this child. It's okay. Let him through. These brothers were intense, man. Yeah, I had to get a hug in between. I'm like, like they were serious, bro. Like no fear with them, man. And like you said, that
Come
they know
on.
the law very well. Like
Yeah.
X amount of speak from the police. They said, and I believe Malik Shabazz was there.
Yes, sir.
Malik Zulu Shabazz. He came by, and who's that brother again? King Samir.
Yeah, King Samir. Okay, yeah, that was back in the day.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, how's King Samir? Have you heard from King Samir?
I had not, man. He's not really in the party yet. Neither is Malik. Malik's not in the party either. He left and went to do some other stuff.
Okay,
Um,
okay.
yeah. We had it's basically all new membership. Basically
Oh,
all new membership. About 97, 95% of the people who are in now are all new. And that's why it's called the New Black Panther Party, because we're teaching a new group. I would say a lot of old principles and principles that have been revolutionized as well, brought up to date. Yeah,
um,
reviewed and renewed. Yes, sir.
what's the difference between a new Black Panther Party and other organizations such as NFAC?
Mm. Well, this in the NBPP, I can say now, there's a
Mm-hmm.
heavy focus on ideological development. Okay, we have some, we say S1W, security of the first world. Why do we say security of the first world? Because the first world is the world of ideas.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so if we can't stand in ideological unity, there's going to be no unity of action, right? We
Yeah.
have to have unity of thought, and we have to make sure that the integrity of the ideas is kept intact. And if people are saying either we're A or we're B,
Mm-hmm.
no, you have to determine whether it's A or B, because when it's both A and B, that's called confusion.
Exactly.
So that's one thing we had to really, and if somebody is ideologically compromised, their body is no good to me. Because your mind is compromised. Your mind has been poisoned. We're going to be saying go left and you're going to go right.
Talk about it. Yeah.
I can't work with you, man.
Yeah,
So
man.
that was one of the first primary things that we wanted to lay out, man, is to get people, okay, what ingredients belong in this? What ingredients do not? And how do we keep the things that do not belong in here out and the things that do belong here in? And then multiply what does belong in here, the ingredients that are in here. And that's what we're in the process of doing right now, family. Because, once again, without that mind power and that black power that's internal, which comes through study and practice, consistent study and practice, you can't do much for us, No.
Yeah. Yeah, you gotta put that work in, you gotta put that pain in, as they say.
Yes, sir.
Challenge yourself, break those barriers in your mind, Liberate the
Mhm.
mind first and foremost, inside and out. Your
Yes,
family,
sir.
everything must. It's like you basically you're no longer thinking for yourself. You got to think about your comrades. You get what I'm
And
saying?
a family collective perspective. We say how to walk your panther, learning how
Mm,
to walk your panther, not my panther, your panther, because it's a panther inside of you. If you just let it go wild, it'll tear a whole bunch of shit up. But if you learn
exactly.
how to walk your panther correctly, then you'll know how to use it, how to defend these sets of politics, how to defend this ideology, how to defend this culture, without
Mhm.
coming unglued, right? And then you
Mm,
turn your enemy into your ally.
mm,
You say, that's a better idea. Okay.
yeah.
Mhm.
Kill 'em with kindness.
Yes, sir. Or
Because
just with a better idea.
better
Like, well,
idea. By
man,
then, you be so close up to him, you don't know where to move. You already got him. You already disarmed him with a smile. He's already
you see
disarmed.
what I'm saying?
Can't
They're
make that
like,
move.
I dig this guy. They got a better idea. We need to fuck with them. And then they fucking with you. And
Yeah,
that's what we want to do, man. Shake hands and make friends. Politics is war without bloodshed,
yeah.
And I think if
Mm,
we're to look at the American public in general, the people who taught the most of politics to the American public is clearly, without a doubt, the Panther Party, Black Power family,
I
right?
respect it. I
Who
respect that.
demonstrated the First Amendment, demonstrated the Second Amendment, demonstrated the Fifth Amendment, demonstrated the Fourth Amendment, made them walk and talk these amendments that they wrote down. Okay, yeah, y'all gonna have to show and prove that if you said that, the 13th Amendment, the 14th Amendment. Yeah. A lot of people didn't even know they existed until we busted them out and
Nah, it's
started
true.
reading over them.
It's true, man. It's true.
Yeah.
'Cause I seen like the impact of Fred Hampton when people from different walks of life were getting involved and actors were getting involved and they was
Mm-hmm.
pouring money into him to do stuff in the community. Like we said earlier, the breakfast program, the sickle cell program. Yo, that's impactful right there.
It's different.
It
It's
hit
different.
different, man. And
Mm-hmm.
throughout the United States and now international, had people on their toes like, yo, who are these Panthers? Like, they say what they want about them, their comedies, they influence. They thought that to see a brilliant group of black people use their brain, they thought that it was outside influence. They couldn't believe it. Like, yo, who's doing this? It was brothers and sisters that were educated, that outsmarted you, went
Yes,
down to
sir.
colleges, recruited young men and women, instructed them not to be outlaws, but to
Right.
work within the law. And that
Indeed.
put fear of them, like,
That
"Oh
part.
my god, they know the law too."
That part right there, brother. And I
Yeah,
like that you emphasize that because there's nothing you will find in the five duties and the nine local objectives, okay,
yeah,
and the 12 general orders that asks you to do anything illegal. In fact,
exactly.
it will make a more law abiding citizen, a more orderly society to go by
Mhm.
these five duties, these nine local objectives, these 12 general orders. Word.
E exactly.
Hmm.
My brother, man, you have to come back to further explain this
Oh,
into
absolutely.
more because this is beautiful. Imma
Hmm.
look it up again. The website is new Black Panther Party dot black, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So just
And
I could just type in NBPP dot black or just
nah, you
the
got to type
whole.
out the whole word. Yeah, the
Alright.
new Black Panther Party, and then you can find the membership part, the join us part, and just look at some of the newspaper and see some of the articles and some of the programs that's going on. And there's so much stuff. That's a better way to do it, to send you to where all the stuff is at, rather than try to. But I'm gonna be coming on here every first and last Thursday, so we're gonna
Yes.
call it Pan Thursday, and we're gonna
And
show and
Thursday,
show and
yeah.
prove the Panther of a thousand faces.
Yeah, definitely, man. Because I'm gonna see what's the local chapter out here in New York. I know,
All
I'm doing
right.
my thing, but I wouldn't mind go sitting down and listening because I love to hear stuff like this to get different insights and maybe
Mm-hmm.
some keys I missed out on. Somebody could pull me in the coattail, like, "Oh, check this out. Go look into that." Because this is
Mm-hmm.
what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to meet up, and this is the round table taking effect right here. Like, everybody's coming to the table, dropping their little jewels. Yeah, yo, try this, man. See if that work. You know what I'm saying? So
That's how you get the
again,
best part. Yes, sir. You know what I'm saying? Well, we
but
we definitely invite you to come on the Zoom on Tuesday if you're available and sit in with us. And we have just a political education classes. Everybody enjoys it.
definitely,
Mhm.
definitely. Send that
Mhm.
information, man. Hopefully, if I'm on the show, I'll probably catch it after. But I'll have it running simultaneously next to each other. Brother, Mag, man, it's an honor to
Yes, sir.
have you, bro.
Man, it's always a supreme honor, family, to be on here building with the builders and on NYP Talk Show, man. And the show didn't come to this point, and it's still going strong.
No, we have to, man, because we're on the same mission as you, man. It's just that we want to change the narrative for our people. We know what's being displayed on television is not the best of the people. And I mean that not only here, globally. They always trying to say Africa is destituted, but they hide the beauty of it. You know,
Right. That's right.
they always say that it's war-torn poverty over there. They look at the Caribbean as war-torn. They don't show the good side, like the excellence that's there with the brilliant young minds that's trying to find a way here, even here in America.
Mhm.
So it's time that's what NYP is about, is to show a different side
So the
of the
best
people,
part,
man. Yeah, the
I
best
like
part.
that.
Yeah,
I like
man.
that.
And that's why we have you here, man, because it's very important. Shout out to Brother Vic too, man. Tell Vic I said what up, man. You know what I'm saying?
Well, we're gonna have him back on here too. We're going to go through the build, and I'm gonna get the chairman of the party to come on here, and so y'all can meet him. Really
Yeah.
good brother, strong brother, ex-marine brother.
Yeah,
Hmm.
we need that, man. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? On some
Hmm.
spook side behind the door stuff. But anyway, with that being said, NYP family, the brother came down, he represented, he demonstrated for us. Give him love. Don't forget to comment, like, share, and subscribe. Check out the website, the new Black Panther Party.black, and show some love, man. With that being said, we out. Peace.
Black Power family.
Black
Yeah.
Power.